So we're back. We went over and checked out the, well, our existing, truck and then the new one. That's an option. So I guess what's everybody's feelings, on a route, what they feel is best, positives, negatives. I guess let's throw it all out there.
A little bit my concern is, I'm kind of leaning towards the new one. But if we buy the new one, I think we need to come up with a plan of make sure maintenance gets done right. That was my worst concern is like, well, we need that and this, and how much of that stuff, I don't know, should really maintenance or checkup or,
Fluids should be changed every year, and the tires gotta be legal and stuff like
if
that.
we're gonna invest all this money, the city's money, taxpayers' money.
Well, some of that stuff you're gonna have whether it's new or old, you know?
True.
Yeah.
It's just maintenance. If you run the numbers, like Matt and I were here a little bit too, and I called Jesse, so I talked to him this afternoon, so he kinda ran through this for me, so I wanna commend Jesse for his due diligence and put these numbers together and be honest with us and stuff. That means a lot. But if you run the numbers, you talk about, in 3 years, a new one might be 285 and ours is gonna be worth 50. You take these numbers, 15,000 a year roughly, it kinda comes out, the numbers damn well equal out. Whether you fix ours up and get $90,000 for it in 3 years, or you buy the new one now. The money pretty well balances. Then again, you're gonna have a new one you're gonna need in another 10 years versus 13 years on the old one. So there's different ways to look at it. So, but I think money-wise, it makes more sense. We need to come up with a better maintenance plan. I completely agree with that. We gotta be driving, making sure they're good to go. The biggest thing that bothers me, let's just say money's a wash if you buy new or you repair or you do what you do. The concern I have is where's the money coming from? I'd like to see where the money's actually coming from, how we're gonna pay for something. If he has another one coming in 3 months, that's exactly the same except, I shouldn't say exactly the same except for the two, help me out, what's it called? Car tippers versus one which we only use one anyway. That would give us time to figure out, I'd like to see the numbers, how are we gonna pay for it? Where's each dollar gonna come from? That's my biggest thing, is where's the money coming from, how are we gonna do it? Because I think, it does make sense. If you look at the numbers, they're pretty equal to, we wouldn't be out anything. I think we could keep ours another 3 years, do the repairs, and as long as we do those repairs, it maintains its values. If we don't do those repairs, it's gonna be worth less, and the new one's gonna go up. There's gonna be a bigger difference, so if you do the repairs and you keep it, because with $7,300, that's minimal hours.
I was just gonna ask, I don't know.
You're talking on a Cummins, Richard, would you overhaul a Cummins between 15 and 18,000 hours like that?
Every day.
Yeah, so that's kind of where you're at. So we're half the hours it needs for an overhaul. So engine-wise, we're good. But then now again, you need to think about the rusting, and then the chassis stuff looks good, but again, airlines and things there's things that, we all know that with a vehicle and everything else.
Tires.
Tires. You need to wear tires out on whatever you have, but.
Turn the towel.
Yeah, he needs to put tires on that unless we get something different tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. Because you're gonna get a ticket from somebody.
Yeah, it won't blow out, then you just put the truck apart. So I think it just comes down to money, you're gonna even out whether if you do the repairs and you do something different in 3 years or you buy a new one now. Is the way I see it.
It is a superior chassis compared to what we have.
No doubt. Right now you've got a lift axle, you've got a cheater axle.
You talk about leach, that's
As far as the garbage side.
a part of the chassis,
Yeah.
the body, I should say. But that's about the primo for what you're gonna get. Yeah. How we're gonna swing the financing on this?
when we were proposing it before, that there was $70,000 we'd use from the garbage fund itself. And then, furnish the rest, we could take whatever the difference is and get a internal loan from the gas and, or the electric, and then just pay it back. I think that was the option Teresa was going to, promote, or that was her first option.
What does garbage generate a year? I mean, what do we think we'd have a year to?
Yeah.
We didn't really have that. Cause I think there was a little bit more in there than the 70,000 to use, but
There-
we wanted to leave a cushion
You
there.
do need to leave some in there, so.
Where the 70 is coming from is that's what we had budgeted in this coming year's
Okay.
budget.
But there was more in there.
There's more, so we're gonna, and more than likely, we're gonna have to amend it eventually anyway. So we can always, you know, at the same time, we can always amend that 70,000 if we feel
Yeah,
like.
what do we generate per year?
I don't know if you remember
I'm
what,
just trying to think how long.
roughly what we
It's
generate
so long.
in a year.
I don't remember. Definitely.
Yeah, I remember it was brought up in one of the last meetings.
Yeah, how long would that take to pay back the?
That's what I'm after, you know?
But you're not paying any interest, right? You're, so
You can set it with interest, or you don't.
We're just charging ourselves.
just
Yeah.
charging yourself.
Charge ourselves, but I'm just thinking, you know, again, I go back to priorities, you know, if we take this money away, if we have other projects come up we wanna do and different things, you know, we're taking some money away potentially for those two. Again, it goes back to priority,
Yeah.
what is our priority?
Well, this is worst case scenario too. So a lot of this stuff is fixed on failure.
Yeah, you need to do the top two
Yeah.
within the year, and you look at it, you can't disagree with
I
that. So
think,
you got
I think the
$10,000.
tipper,
Okay, yeah,
because they're gonna be replacing that.
you got $15,000 rough and dirty,
Yep,
again, you need to do,
and the rest of it's,
is failure.
Well, I don't think that truck's gonna fit, that's gonna fit down there.
I think it's gonna be too long.
I think it's too long, and I don't know, that height's pretty high to me, but.
Yeah.
It's got fit.
Right.
Okay, so
That
this
makes
is,
a big difference, yeah.
so this is going off from April's numbers. We were sitting at 116,251 for the garbage balance.
In April.
April of a year ago, we were at 8106.
So $36,000
Roughly. Yeah, that sounds about what I was thinking.
So if you have 70.
2 years. Basically, right? No, 162 in
So
2
90.
years.
Wages come out of that, though, too?
They're budgeted for a different line item, just like.
Are
we
they?
do, so.
Yeah, and still leave money in our account. That's
Yeah.
not that growing.
So if you do 160, I'm just gonna do rough numbers. Well, if you don't take any of that, then you take 160, what we got to borrow, right?
Yeah.
Minus 70.
Minus 70, yeah.
Equals 90, yeah, divided by 35, yeah, 2.5.
2.5 years, 2.5.
It's not bad.
That's not,
No, it's not bad.
that's not bad.
And that's leaving that
That's leaving that cushion.
$36,000 in the,
Mm-hmm.
In there.
Yeah, you can't do that.
you know.
And the garbage really doesn't, besides basic repairs, we don't have.
Repairs and truck, and if you got a new truck, you'd have warranty on everything besides oil changes and tires,
Tires,
yeah.
everything else is gonna fall under. Does it say what warranty is? You can ask him that.
No, I don't think it says anything on
I think a question we should ask him, what
Yeah.
warranty is on the chassis and the garbage side.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you're,
So you
yes,
save a little bit of money if you didn't have any, you know, for repairs and stuff like that, you build that count up a little bit.
Right.
what, I guess our fees and all that stuff, I mean, I guess really, that's all coming out of it, this is still money we have in it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's, unless we have to buy a bunch of garbage cans or some reason that we're not using, but we
That
don't
doesn't
see
sound-
that, do we?
No, well, I mean, we're not growing that fast, and
And if we
those-
do, that's good, because we're getting more.
Right.
And I think
We
we
gotta
have
get that revenue
We have
coming
like
in.
15 or 20 on hand, don't we?
Yeah, we buy a few here and there to
Yeah.
keep some on if people wanna have a second can, or if they come up missing or whatever, but yeah, no.
I'd say if you can pay it back in 2.5 years,
Right, that's,
it ain't terrible.
Yeah, it's all.
But it's gotta fit.
you know,
It's gotta fit, that's what I'm,
Yeah.
but here comes Jack, so we'll see.
you know,
And I do know Jesse had to be in the Macokota by 7, so I don't know if he'll be.
Yeah,
It's probably taking a garbage
Okay.
truck there.
You better keep going. Again, I mean, you guys all heard it, there's a twin in 3 months.
Right. Right, yeah, exactly. But here's my thing too, though, if you look at the comparison, I had the comparison sheet for the original one that he quoted us, and that was the 24-25. The difference is, the 24-25 is a 360 instead of a 350. The front axle is 18,000 instead of 16,000.
This is the one that's coming in 2 months?
Oh, that's the,
That'll be what
This-
you ordered one.
This would be a
Yeah,
order
one.
one.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't know, I don't know, need an 18 steer on a garbage truck.
You don't think so?
It's pretty hard to load up a garbage truck on a steer.
Weight wise, you're gonna be,
Yeah, okay. So I just, those are just a couple things that I
What
noticed.
you did is you just sacrificed steer radius.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't turn them as tight.
Okay.
what, anything else that stood out on that?
Is that still a leach body?
Yes. Yeah, it's still the leach, the 25-yard leach.
It's 10,000 horsepower, 10 horsepower less and 2,000 pound less for that.
Yeah. But that's probably why you got the less horsepower.
Yeah.
mhm.
He's ordering versus just taking it from
Right.
factory.
Right. So,
What's the verdict?
Height wise, it fits. 2 inches clear on the back, that's without dumping the air, just driving in normal, I won't wanna rely on having the guy
Snow
remember
buildup
to
and
dump.
stuff,
Yeah, yeah. Once it gets, yeah, you won't want any snow built up on the concrete, the outside is about 3 inches lower, so that wouldn't be as big of a deal out there, but once you get on concrete, you won't want snow. Lengthwise, it might just fit, if you take out, there's a 3-inch old bridge piling, I don't know what you can plank up front.
Plank that we can put blacktop in there again, Don, I mean, take that off, it would be,
It fit?
Tight. So here's the next thing, the truck,
it'll fit. but-
it'll fit, but you ain't gonna get behind it, especially not me.
They can't walk around to the other side of it.
Yeah. The next, the truck I have coming in 3 months is about 6 inches shorter, and I won't be able to confirm that till morning. But I got a 2R tailgate on that with an Alpha body, with the same liners, and it has the Hallmax suspension versus air suspension, which
So
is.
it's not a leach.
It's a leach, yep. So leach makes a beta, an alpha, and a 2R3. They make a 2R3 is just their standard, then they make an alpha 3 commercial, and then you can I add the liners in to make it a 2R3. So,
Now-
same as this, the only difference would be the Hallmax suspension versus airliner, and instead of having two car tippers, it'll have one, which the city has already. And then we talked about maybe having a conversation with plastics to see if they think they're gonna wanna go bigger in the future, or they're happy where they're at. If the city didn't want the Rivian winch, we would take that off at probably a $4,000 to $7,000 discount. Nice thing is with it off, it's real easy to bolt back on and put back on. If we don't order it with it, you're talking 25,000 to add. If it has it on it, we just take the components off, everything's still there. 5 years down the road, plastics change their mind, we can order you another one, otherwise that one will probably still be on my shelf. We bolt it on and away you go.
Jesse, you said, just remember, the 2R3 or?
2R3, yeah.
That was the heaviest Cadillac. And the
Yep.
other one's like a step down now.
Alpha, yeah, so this one will do 1,000 pounds of compaction per cubic yard, the Alpha does 900 pounds per cubic yard. The truck you have now does about 750. That's what the Beta does. But I also beefed it up with, it has all the 2R3 liners in it, so it's a commercial package.
So that would be really the biggest difference, would just be the compaction ratio.
Compact.
And then you're talking different copper.
I think it's about 6 inches shorter, but I'm gonna have to verify with some engineering in the morning, which 6 inches don't seem like a lot, but it would help in that shed a little bit. And I mean, I'll give you guys a few days.
With the other suspension,
The other suspension's gonna be pretty much identical to the fixed, it's just a fixed suspension.
it
There's
wouldn't be
no
no higher.
Well, it'd be lower.
Where are we close, where that winch is? Is that the?
Yeah, if the winch wasn't there, you'd have a foot. You probably got about 2-3 inches of clearance now. If the winch wasn't there, you'd have a foot and 2 inches. You'd have 14 inches of clearance.
and all the bays are the same, right? There's not one longer than the other one or anything?
Not heated ones.
What about being able to walk behind it? You can't walk behind it when it's in the shop? Is that a problem?
Do you back that one against the wall
No,
and walk around the front, or you just,
on the back.
You can get around.
I pull it in, right, you can walk on the back.
okay. I didn't know if you already backed it
And
against
the
the
only
wall.
problem would be we don't have no doors when we fix that farther down sheds. We got rid of the door, the walk-in door,
I'll still tell you that, but
Can you park the garbage truck down farther?
it wouldn't be heated then.
Oh, okay.
And no, that wouldn't, I don't think the overhead door, are they that high?
they're not.
Jesse, you gotta get going.
Yeah.
I do gotta sneak out, again, I'll hold this truck for you too for a day or two here, we won't make any decisions till we hear back, but this other truck, 3 months, roughly 90 days to 110 days is what they're telling me. We'll have that one, and I'll finally hold that one to you too until we get it on the ground and let you guys decide at that point too. I know you don't like table and stuff or whatever, but if I could at least have a good idea that, yeah, hey, we're probably gonna take this if it fits this criteria on the next truck. This truck, if you want it, is yours. If you don't, we'll send it on to the next guy. But then after that, we're looking at 36 months.
Yeah.
Without hesitation on getting it.
Real quick, Jesse, before you, what's the warranty on something like that?
2 years on the body, chassis comes with 3 years, can be upgraded to 5 years. Allison comes standard 5 years. The miles on the engine is 150,000, you guys will never hit that. The mileage on the transmission is unlimited, so you'll never hit that either. Then you have a 2-year base vehicle warranty, which is your inside dashes, controls, door handles. That can also be upgraded to 5 years if you want, but I wouldn't recommend doing it like anything else. They're gonna blame someone being fat and breaking up. Yeah, yeah, so the 5-year engine isn't a bad thing, and it's like $3,000, and that's all engine, all after treatment, to go from 3-year to 5-year. That isn't a bad deal. And that can be upgraded up to 110 days after you buy it through Truck Country. So.
Okay.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right, thank you
guys.
guys. Call me, I'll be driving to you and come up with any other questions here.
And you'll let somebody know tomorrow when you find out as far as.